Okay, we've been assigned to the Deadloch case. We don't have clearance, but we have opinions
Too many.
because something is going on in Deadloch and we need to talk about it. Hey, everybody, I'm Boots.
And I'm Coco.
Welcome to COCOISM, the podcast. Today's guest, and we've been waiting for this one, an actress with range, presence, the kind of subtle power that sneaks up on you. Because on Deadloch, she just didn't play Cath. She made us all ask, are we watching Love? And are we all changing our names to Sexy Sexy?
Period.
Please welcome the amazing Alicia Gardiner.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Me. Yeah, I'm good. I mean, it's early here and I've been awake since 4 a.m. because I'm going through menopause. So aside from that, everything.
Period. What time is it there?
It's it's like 8:30 in the morning. It's fine. It's not too early. But it's early if you've been up since 4.
Yes, that's a lot.
That is early. That is early. Thank you so much for joining us today here at COCOISM. We're just so excited and it's lovely to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Period. Let's get right into it.
Let's jump into this Deadloch investigation. We have so many questions and I have to ask, would Cath survive in LA or immediately start a wellness cult?
She would love it. She would love LA. I've actually thought, we haven't, there's no talk about season 3. So I don't know there's nothing that I don't know that I know that you don't know. But I've kind of sometimes gone, imagine them somewhere like LA, imagine them in New York, imagine them in Sydney. Like she would grab onto everything. That's for sure. Yeah. I don't know about a wellness. She'd definitely be into the wellness for sure. But yeah, she'd be into everything. She'd help
I think she would be in.
I love that.
I can totally see that. Do people come up to you and have strong opinions about Cath?
It's funny. It's funny because my hair's obviously different too. I get a bit of how do I know you? Did our kids go to kinder together? That kind of thing. There's a lot of that. So people are sort of recognizing me, but not going straight to Cath, which I kind of actually quite like that. When they do talk about the show, for season 1, there were stronger opinions. Like she was pretty full on season 1. She was pretty driven and had a lot of opinions, and she was, completely all over Dulcie, obviously, and kind of desperate to keep that all okay. This season, I don't know. I feel like I feel as if people sort of get her light a bit more this season rather than that forward drive. I feel like she's given them a bit more perspective and a bit more air. So that's kind of what I'm getting back at the moment. The love. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like there's a lot of in the beginning, in the first season, it was more about almost like their relationship, but in a separate kind of space. The second season, I feel like it's really you're giving her space. And then there's so much love there and moments for you to kind of digest what's happening around you and kind of be on your own instead of kind of focused on her, you know?
Yeah. And sort of involving herself a lot. I think having moved to Darwin was a big thing for them in terms of, I think Cath got a lot of security in that and having the 3 of them there in their little caravan. And I think that move in itself was a really reassuring thing for her. But just in terms of story and in terms of what's happening in Barra Creek, there's so much happening. And so when you pull back and you see Cath in her world, whether that's in the pub or at the caravan park or wherever she might be, which can be everywhere,
Yeah.
it sort of feels as if it settles a bit. And I love that. I love that she gets to be that part of the story. Yeah.
I love that too, because I mean, in season 2, just Cath is she has so much more freedom. It's like she's on vacation, and she's just hanging and she's always connecting to the community.
Yeah.
I mean, Alicia, you're the breakout star from your portrayal of Cath on Deadloch. Why do you think audiences love and connect with your characters so deeply?
I think that there's a lot of reason. I feel as if the state of the world at the moment needs more Cath.
Yes.
And so I actually think that there's this kind of character, this sort of look, I don't like to say soft because she's actually got some fire. She's fierce as well, but but this kind of principled, high valued, moral person who just wants the world to be a better place. I feel like that, I think that that's a big thing that people are loving. And we, we open our eyes and we see doom and and many people are living that. And so to see a story where there's somebody who's just purely wanting the world to be better, that's a nice character to love. Like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
It
and
makes
she
sense for people to
Yeah,
yeah.
she
right.
really and starts with like her community, which
What's
I
that,
think
sorry?
in in the show she starts with her community with that. It's like that's where she's, because it's to spread that kind of love, you have to first kind of start with the people around you. And I love that part about her because there's so many moments where I like see myself in her, where I just like, even though the world is like in such chaos, I want to just make the people around me smile as much as possible, almost to a fault. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. And I
And
think, yeah, I think that can be a frustrating thing to people as well, right? Because, and I think that that's what happened too in season 1, that I was even frustrated because I'm like, dude, it's not that black and white. We can't just love everyone and then expect everything to be all okay. That can be frustrating to people, that sort of romanticism of the world being better.
Mm.
But actually, if everybody did that, like if everybody had just a little bit of that, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good that you like that. I need more
I
of that.
love it.
Yeah.
I really love the foundation that season 1 really created for, all of the characters on the show. I mean, that season finale of season 1 really just left me in tears. It was just such an emotional ride, and just the feeling of it starting so serious, right? But then also getting into the humor of this wild investigation and what was going on with everyone. But it really solidified in the end, and love that foundation because it just really swept us into season 2. I wanted to know, what did season 1 give you that you were able to build for season 2?
In terms of the character,
Yes.
yeah, I think the thing with Cath is that I found her pace quite hard to find in season 1. She's very fast. She's very fast. That's tough, but also just because everything just rolls over from one to the other, to the other, to the other, from one thought to the next. And whether it's an objective that she has of something she has to do or somewhere she has to be. So that kind of pace, finding that in season 1, I mean, I had to find it pretty hard, like pretty quickly. I think the first scene that Kate Box and I shot was like 4 pages long, and we're running up and down stairs. And yeah, that was like, I remember that being like a trial by fire, going, oh wow, this character is like super fast. So I think having found that in season 1 and then just being able to step in, it's like every show that you do when you've done one season, you feel like the shoes are a little bit easier to put back on. And so coming into season 2, having already felt that pace of her was really nice. And then putting that into the heat of the Northern Territory. Yeah. I think that's what I found. Like, it was just like a bit of a smoother ride this time around.
I mean, I love that. And how did that feel? Like, did you pull from experience or someone that you knew? Because it was like almost as if like sometimes you watch characters that are like that so fast, so specific. Did you pull from anyone that you've known or relationships to kind of, or did you just?
So we've got our showrunners, Kate McLennan and Kate McCartney, who I've worked with sporadically for like 30 years. They, Kate McLennan has a particular tone of her voice, and that's quite bright. And that sort of, hey, sexy, that feels like more of a McLennan voice. And it's funny because sometimes, like when you go into ADR and you do like sort of some post-sync sound work, if a plane flies over, you've got to go in and re-record, that kind of thing. And often you go in and the girls are in there and they've overdubbed, just to give you a bit of a sense. And I'm like, is that me or is that McLennan? Because is that Cath or McLennan? There's a tone, a pitch of her voice that is different to mine that I found in McLennan's voice for sure. But in terms of, no, I don't think I know anyone. There's a real Cath in real life. I don't know if you knew that. actually based on a friend of the Kate's, and I met her.
Wow.
I actually met her at a pub one night. She I was on the dance floor and she bowled up and I couldn't hear her. And then she was just in my face and she's like, I'm Cath, I'm Cath. And I was like, what? We couldn't really talk because it was noisy and yeah, we just gave each other a big hug. But yeah, that's pretty special to know that there's a real life Cath out there doing good things in the world.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm so glad you shared that with us. I mean, I love that you mentioned the two Kates, like what a brilliant world that Deadloch that they created and that you're all a part of. The cast and the chemistry is just bananas. I mean, working with, Kate Box, Madeline Sammy, like the chemistry just feels so natural and just like so fun. Does that just happen day one on set, or like where does it come from, that energy that you all have?
I think it does come day one with all jobs. There is something pretty magical about this show, for sure. I think that the relationships like that often in any workplace can take time to develop. And it's tricky when you're an actor because you have to fake it if it's not there. Like,
Mm.
we love each other hard and we have since the beginning. Kate and I have known each other for a while because we did Offspring together, a TV show here in Australia. And and she's one of my very close friends. So pashing her every day was totally fine. And yeah, one of our producers actually said to me back in season 1, we hadn't started shooting it yet. And he called me and he just said to me, I just want you to know that everybody we're casting in this show is a really good person. And we have a bit of we've got a thing, like everybody has to be really good people. And then I was like a few weeks in and I went into his office to complain about something and I was like, I'm the one. I'm the baddie out of all these good people you chose. I'm the one. So everyone's so good that even the tiniest little thing makes you go, oh, I'm the one
I
outside.
love that.
Nah, it's pretty good place to be. Yeah.
And,
And
and to
everyone
really,
cares about the world, right? Like a bunch of queers making a queer show and talking about things that matter and like challenging things and narratives and created by women and like just like if it starts from a good place there and you
Right.
and that's where the germ is, then you feel pretty safe in the space straight away. Yeah. Yeah.
it's powerful. And I love to hear all of the things. There's so much when you're watching it, right?
Yeah.
Where you're brought into the world, like, feel like, and it connects to like the love that you guys are creating, right? But it's so interesting to watch the show because it feels like it is. It almost feels like it's a reality show because it feels so spot on, right? It feels like these are actual people living in this space because the humor, the almost like outrageousness of the dialogue
Yeah.
is like, whoa, like you just don't hear that stuff on TV or we don't hear it. So it is such a pleasure to watch. And
Yeah.
I wonder how was that? How was that kind of like, I know there's a script, but how much of it was like just what's the word? Like
Organic.
improvised. Yeah.
Not a great deal. Well, I'm not Madeline Sami. I mean, if I was Madeline Sami, I'd probably answer that in a different way because Mads is very good at the improv. But also, I believe that even still within that, there was like quite a bit of structure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because I mean, the thing is that as much as it is this microcosm of a fucking crazy world, it's actually you've got to be so specific with what you say and so land with what you say. And those words and the jokes only land because of the writing, really. And so if you go too far from it, you lose what that message is. And the thing with Deadloch that I love about it is that, within one page of the scene, within 30 seconds, you're questioning yourself. And then the next second you're laughing and you're in tears from laughter. But you can't do that if you're just improvising it, right? That's all very deliberate. But yeah, within that structure, there's playtime. Yeah. Yeah.
Was there moments where you were just totally dying? Because it's like I can't even imagine being on that set where you're just like some of the things that are being said, you're like, "Whoa."
Yeah, 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 yeah. I can't even. I mean, yeah, it's so funny because we shot season 1 like 3 and a bit years ago.
Mm.
At the end of lockdown. We shot this season over a year ago, so it's kind of funny now talking about it because I'm like, I don't even really remember. But yeah, no, definitely good time, amazing crew, and also to have directors and showrunners who are themselves
Mm.
barrel laughs, and yeah, yeah, it's
I I love that. I mean, we were watching the show with my mom over the weekend, and she's a lady of the church. And I'm gonna say it, everyone's a cunt, and it's like I was just like, I know my mom was giggling and she was giggly, but it was just the language is it's just so funny. It kills me, and you guys perform it like perfectly. So don't stop doing that.
Please
But
don't.
I love how I
yeah,
love how you mentioned queer representation, in the show, and like where it all begins, and just like you said, like where the germ starts, and that's so beautiful because I feel like the dynamic of this show isn't really often seen, maybe in like a crime series or just in this setting, and it's so cool. I wanted to ask, what changes when queer people aren't the side story? They are the story. Why does this feel so refreshing, but also a little chaotic?
well, yeah, absolutely. The story is these people in this world, and their queerness is not necessarily about their sexuality. Their queerness is in the
Mm.
world. It's
Mm.
in the things that they say. It's in the things that the way that they accept each other's wildness and
Mm.
beauty and fallibility. Like, they're all fallible characters, and none of them are perfect. And the risk taking and so much of that in that world is queer. So
Mm.
step into a world and a workplace, to be honest, is like stepping into that straight away makes it just not a thing. I've
Mm.
played like a lot of queer characters, and sometimes it has in the past felt a bit like on the kind of like this storyline feels a little bit out of the box here.
Mm.
For 1 second, is that part of a deadlock?
Mm.
Um, why I'm like, what? I don't like. I'm like, what? That's just should be what it is. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So yeah,
It's really refreshing because it's with no filter. It's all parts, from the queer representation to like it's like the women running the show. It is just like pure magic. And like
yeah,
I watched it again super fast
yeah,
so that we could get here, but I almost need to go back because there's just so much that
yeah.
happens in one episode that it's like so dense where you almost need a moment to like unpack your purse and like show back up because you're like, what just happened?
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
totally.
Totally.
Yeah, I've had to watch it because the interesting thing with Cath too is that so much of the crime stuff in the first and second season she wasn't part of, and so so my brain wasn't really computing, and so having them watched it after, sort of through the edit, I was like, oh, hang on, did that, I had to watch it a few times to actually land a few things as well.
It's so refreshing because it's also that, like, since we've talked about having you on, it's like so many people are like, "Oh yeah, I've watched it." And it makes me so happy because it's just like the stories that I want to hear and it's like the direction I want. I just want to see more of these, more women telling stories. We work with a lot of women in our work and it's like the creators that are having a moment right now, it's like it's not just a moment. It is like this is we're turning into this and we are all here for it. And I'm just like I'm so happy that this is happening. And it's
Yeah,
it's
and
kind of overwhelming.
yeah, that's so good. I
Right.
mean, I
Mhm.
think also too, s- often with stories, um, projects like this, it's finding that balance between the comedy and the truth.
Mm.
I love that kind of writing. I love when people are laughing and then hang on and they stop themselves and they're like, hang on, did I just laugh at that? And they're questioning themselves. And I know that from the Kates that was a big thing here because we have so much so many problems here in this country in terms of just there's so much injustice and so many things that need to be fixed. And while we see the comedy in this story, we also like the mirror is up. The mirror is up.
Yes.
And that's the kind of projects that we can make. We can still have heart and we can still have humor, but also things really need to change. And even the fact that we have this story of this kid, Mav, a First Nations kid, who's effectively then been shot at. Sorry, whoops, spoiler, but maybe not. This story is happening here. These stories are happening here, and children as young as 10, they can be locked up in Australia. And 60% of them are First Nations children. And within those scenes, we're like, ha ha ha, and oh, Cath, and oh, but then, the brutal reality of what's, this war against kids. This is the stuff that we need to be making. We can't ignore it. Yeah.
It makes me think of why I feel like the show has so much beauty within it,
Yeah.
from season 1 to season 2. Like, it's so special again because the representation of the communities from each location that you guys filmed. So in season 1, I love all the details of the series of the each season because it's like so detailed, and like the Aboriginal girls like from the first season, like I wanted so much more because you get so invested in, like, they're just so special, and like their story was beautifully explained. And I really loved, like, in the new location how you really represented like the indigenous, like the natives of the area. And it's like it's so special because I don't think a lot of shows really give you that feeling or that connection to, like, where you're filming, where people are from the area. And like it was a whole different connection that like really just drew me in.
Yeah, and I mean, a massive honor. And I don't know if I'm the right person to speak on this because there are so many First Nations people that are involved in this project, from writers to actors to crew, and who, this is their story. One thing I can speak to is the three children, Lennox, Raiden, and Storm, who are in this show. I actually worked as a dramaturg with them, so like an acting coach. I didn't have actually. I just on set, to be honest. But they are the the core of this story. This land is theirs and their families, and so to have that opportunity to be with them on set every day and their families, and we had like a team of writers that were First Nations people, and so much of it we don't understand. It's really, really special to be part of this project for that reason. And to be honest, probably a career highlight for me to have just learnt so much and changed so much through story and through just being around these people. Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, like the first, it is so fascinating because the stories, like you said earlier, like something would happen, and then you'd be like, wait, what did they just say? Because I feel like it gave us watching like so much hope and understanding to the story that they were trying to tell.
Yeah.
That, like, even to the point where there was a part where, she was like, "I couldn't actually go there because, I have kids and I can't be taken from my kids." That was in season 2, and I was just like, there's so many moments that are just so, like, relatable to so many communities, like, all over the world, that
Yeah.
it's like, it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
Like, it's told so well where it's like, you say a little bit and you just understand the, complete story that is trying to be told, you
That's
know?
so great. That's so great because that's all
Yeah.
we want, right? Like you want to make art that people, get joy from and people enjoy, but at the same time, you want hearts and minds to change always. Like I think every
Yeah.
artist wants that, right? And so if anybody is questioning something or learning something within a story, then that's like job done. You don't like
Yeah.
no one needs to be paid for that shit. That's amazing. And I think also again, I don't want to give away spoily stuff, but that moment where Cath talks to Dulcie in the caravan and questions her and says, "I'm not seeing Dulcie anymore," is kind of this thing of actually I felt as if that was to the world. because we often get told to think one thing and to see what we think and ignore it, ignore what we feel because what we've been told, or we're told that we have to move in this way or act in this way and not question our own instincts. But actually in that moment, she was like, your sense of justice is what I love about you, she says in an earlier scene. But in that moment, she really
Right.
says, hang on, are you losing yourself here? And I think that that's a question for the world. Are we losing ourselves in the systems that, tell us, or the media tells us to think one thing and we go against ourselves? I think, there's so much in this show that hopefully people see in themselves as well, not just within those characters as a monolith.
Mm-hmm. In the way that Cath said that. And then from the prior scenes, prior season, it was like she was so calm. And then she just walked out of the door. And I was like,
yeah, she's really smart. she's a vet. She's a lawyer.
Yeah, she's a lawyer. She is a lawyer. And
She's
On the
like, she
job.
can do anything. Cath can do anything, like no matter what. And like, honestly, there's so much stuff that we shot as well that didn't actually end up in the cut. And like the amount of things that Cath can do is just, but it never really surprises you because she's like, yeah, of course. She's like super capable, can do everything. But also just say it in a way that is not too abrasive, but abrasive enough to, make an impact.
I love that. Is there anything that you can share that didn't make the edit for the show that Cath?
This is going to stump me. There was something the other day that I thought of and I was like, oh, hang on, did that make the... No. I can tell you a couple of little things that the day that we shot the swimming pool scene at the end, we all had to like get evacuated out of the pool because there was lightning coming and they thought we were going to get electrocuted. Yeah, that's like a little behind the scenes thing that nobody saw. Yeah, we're all in the pool and it was a massive storm and we all had to jump out and basically, save our lives.
Can we talk about the environment? Okay, so I have like several questions about this, but like that environment, season 1, season 2, was it as crazy as it looked? Like the bugs, the crocodiles, the whatever else was around.
Yeah.
Was it like all of that?
Yeah. Like for real, worse.
How was that for you? Is that something you're comfortable with? Or is it more of like
It's horrendous.
Wow.
But in saying that, she says that and she's got someone carrying an umbrella, keeping the shade off her and somebody putting ice packs down her back and someone else putting a fan on her face. Like, she's okay.
things are out?
The days that
I
I
love
was
that.
working with the kids on set, they were the hard days because I had to look after myself as crew. But no, it is really like that. On
Wow.
the first day that I arrived in Darwin, I actually texted my partner and said, I'm just going to go for a swim. Not a good idea. No, you don't go and swim in the water, dude. There's crocodiles. Like
No.
and you just sort of kind of forget when you don't live in that world all the time. Yeah, you go to the waterfalls and it's like crocodiles are there. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the lunch position. I mean, yeah, you can't. You gotta
Yeah.
watch out.
Yeah, it's real. The heat is real. There's a lot of like protection in place to make sure that people survive the heat up there in terms of, being on a job. Yeah.
Wow, sounds dangerous. I just love Dulcie and Detective Eddie and Cath so much. Could you share like who is the most like their character and who is absolutely not?
We feel like everybody, most people have a little bit of their character in them always. Sometimes Boxy will say something to me and I'm like, that sounded a bit like Dulcie. Or Mads, I think all of us have a little bit, of our characters in us. I think Mad Sami is not as sort of boisterous as Eddie, but still sometimes it comes out. It comes out. Who's the Boxy's very relaxed, very, very cruisy person in real life. Dulcie's perhaps not as cruisy. I can be really terrible and grumpy and moody, and Cath's not like. Cath's just always lovely to people. I'm not. So we all have a little bit. We have a little bit of each of
I
our
love
characters.
that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. What is your sign?
What's that?
What's your
Pisces.
sign? Do you know what your rising is?
What is that? Tell me what that
This
is.
is not a tarot reading.
Pisces is, yeah, that's, you're going
Pisces go with the flow, don't
sensitive.
they?
Yeah, but you're sensitive and you're not messing around. Like if you don't like it, you don't want to do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Alicia, I want to talk about one thing, and I'm just dying to know because we're hairstylists, and Cath's hairstyle iconic in
Yeah.
every single way. How did
Yeah.
that style come about? And tell me more.
How did it come about? Oh,
And
gosh.
before you start, let's
Yeah.
start with that bank. Was it your hair?
In the show? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's on
Wow.
my hair. Yeah. So, yeah. I came into, I think when I was cast as Cath originally, I had darker hair. So I kind of have this thing, I've always done it. I probably should go and see a psych about it. But like every time I play a character, when I rap, I go and just change my hair. My mum was a hairdresser.
that.
So it's kind of like not a big deal to me. But it's like kind of like a bit of a shedding. Like I just like to just, okay, you're, on the salon floor and
Yes.
you now step aside. So yeah, but I think I had brown hair when I was cast as Cath. And I think maybe I had like a mullet or something. Like I had a bit of a something. And then it was like 6 months or something until we actually started rolling. And so we grew it out and put the fringe in and yeah.
That was wild. And it's amazing because that's a lot of hair.
A lot of hair.
That was a lot. And was it helpful, like the humidity, like to make it or does
Yeah.
your hair, is it curly like that?
It is curly. It springs
Got
up
it.
really easily. Yeah. I
love
love
that.
this. I love that we're talking about Cath's hair. Yeah.
So
It
you were
springs
ready.
up, it's really thick, really like it gets dry. So they just put like a lot of
Right.
but no, yeah, that's all the real deal.
That's amazing.
I know. I love it so much. We did get a bit of Coco mail for this episode about Deadloch the show. And one of our friends who owns Good Intention Coffee Shop here in LA, she wanted to know, did you actually work with live crocs? And what was that experience like?
So I didn't as Cath. I know that, they definitely did work with crocs, with real crocs. I think they just had boats and I don't even know. I wasn't there on those days. They had, crocs in, I don't know where they were. Croc sanctuaries? I don't know. But they did. They also had fake ones. So our art department's amazing. So I remember going onto set and they're just being like crocodiles.
Chill.
Oh my God. Our friend Luann from A Media Star, it was actually her idea to reach out for this episode, and I'm so glad that she did. You did mention season 3, and we're just dying to know, do we need to start a campaign to get this started? Because
Do it. Make it happen.
Period. Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power of the people. Make it happen.
Power of the people.
I know nothing.
And I think she's getting a lot of attention. I feel like since we started watching it, I was just so surprised on how many people knew about it. Because, it's like, I feel like there's so much content out there, right? That it's like the point of all of the content is for us to all relate to it, right? So then we can share it. Because as soon as I watched it, I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but I found myself being in those spaces. Obviously not there. I grew up in California, but like there's still like those people and those like that kind of interaction where I'm just like, whoa, it makes people connect because you're like, I've been there. And I'm like a Cath. Like I can have like 30 or 40 jobs going at one time. When then I think I'm like, what am I doing? I'm doing too much.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing too much.
Yeah, I had to shed the old Cath in me a long time ago. I reckon about 15, 20 years ago. I was like Cath. I was doing a lot for a lot of people and I was sort of putting myself aside to make sure that everybody else was okay. And had to put that aside. But I think also just these characters are everywhere. These characters do exist. And
Yeah.
sometimes, unfortunately.
I mean, I found myself wanting to move to Deadloch, Tasmania, and attend the festival and the aquatic, cinema, like all of it. I mean,
Yeah.
Fine.
amazing.
Such
I
an
do want to take a second. We're gonna have like a little 60-second
A little
calm down. I want everyone to take a sip of water,
breather.
take a moment.
Right.
Like, subscribe. If you're liking what she's saying, let's keep it going. Like we said, we need season 3. So let's get that campaign going. So by doing that, let's subscribe, tell us what you liked, ask us some more questions because this isn't coming out for 2 weeks. So maybe we'll have a little sprinkle.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Follow us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, comment, subscribe. Deadlock season 1, season 2. You don't want to miss. It's time to binge on it. And yeah,
That's the tea.
that's the tea. Let's get back to it. So guys,
Go ahead.
yeah, how did you meet the two Kates?
Remember meeting one of the Kates when we were like 20. I think this memory might be wrong, but I had landed a role when I was 20. It was a lead in an ABC TV series, and part of the job was sort of going around and talking to and doing different interviews. And McLennan was a friend of another friend of mine who was another actor. We had the same agent for many, many years. So we kind of hovered in the same circles. And then they've just gone and created incredible projects along the way and just gone, hey, do you want to do this? So there's just been sporadic things and socially as well. I think McCartney and I, have you heard of Cath and Kim? The TV show Cath and
Yes.
Kim?
Yeah.
I think you love
Mhm.
it. Yeah. We did an episode of that together.
Period.
One pulled out of the relics, like, yeah, that was easily nearly 30 years ago that we did that together. Yeah, we've just been around traps. Look, the industry in Australia is very small. It's much different to the States. And so we all kind of know each other, actually.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Wow. I mean, you mentioned some of your previous work, and I know you were in the original cast of Mamma Mia in Australia. Do you have a preference from theater to film to TV?
I love working. So
Nice.
if something comes through and it's, first of all, is this important to the world and
Yeah.
creatively? And then secondly, yeah, it's not like a huge influx of choice all the time here in this country, but I do love TV. It's kind of where I started. I was a baby. I was 21 and I'd never stepped on set before. So they literally had to walk me in and say, this is where you stand. Here's your mark. Stand here, say the words. That's how yeah. So that's my world. That's always been my world. But I started as a dancer. So at the same time, I love kind of being on stage dancing as well. I really love the culture of film and television here. It's relaxed and fun and quite a tight community. So I really love that as well. Yeah. So probably TV. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm.
Knowing that like your US fan base is growing so much.
Growing.
Yeah, I mean, are you considering projects here?
No, definitely not.
Period.
Sorry, I don't know where you guys are headed. I don't think I'd be allowed in, to be honest. But no, I'm happy here. I've sort of been over a few times and sort of checked things out. There's been enough here. I've been sort of, chipping away for a long time now and have felt content in that. I haven't felt like I've needed to step out. But I mean, one day if something really, really lovely came along, then I'd think about it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can you share on any new projects or what's next for Alicia at the moment?
What's next is I am doing a lot of hiking.
Period.
I just did 6 weeks hiking through Morocco, mostly my own. And so, I'm sort of like in this sort of fitness season at the moment. There's a few things I'm looking at, but nothing set in stone. Yeah.
I love hiking. That's a good place to be. That's a good place
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like if I could get paid to just hike,
Right?
that's what I would do.
Put it out there. Put it out there.
Well, in the world of Deadlock, what do you think is next for Cath and Dulcie? And do we think Eddie has found real love or
How great is that storyline?
She's
So
great.
good. I remember reading that just like, Like, this is perfect. And also, we see so much heart in Eddie in season 2, which we saw in season 1, but I just feel like it got more sort of, it got richer, and the family and their town, their hometown, and then finding love. That was really cool. Shari Sevens is has been around forever, and it is incredible First Nations actor. And having them both, that little combo of actors together is just genius. So I don't know what would happen if, on like that, like, let's have babies.
Period.
Yes.
If Cath had her own spin-off show, what would it be?
Would it be just, it'd be too, I'm absolutely exhausted thinking about that. Oh my God. It'd be everything, wouldn't it? It would just be, it would cover everything. It'd be like maybe a lifestyle show where she'd be cooking with someone amazing, for 10 minutes. And then in the next breath, she'd be doing yoga or something with somebody else, or she'd be in the choir,
And then skydiving.
Yeah, it'd have to cover a lot of things.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that.
that's absolutely exhausting.
Amazing. So Deadloch feels different because it lets everything exist at once. It's funny, it's dark, it's chaotic, and so real. The chemistry of you all is so delicious and brilliant. Dulcie, Eddie, and of course, Cath. We aren't kicking this obsession anytime soon. Alicia, I want to thank you for coming into the Cocosphere, bringing the Deadloch world here at COCOISM and into our world of too many things.
Yeah, be too many things. Keep being too many things.
Period. Let's be
too many things.
Together.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
Cath, I love you.
Thank you so much.
So much.
So good.
What a beautiful team you are. It's really, really nice to be asked to be here.
Oh my God, I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you so much.
So
Thanks for loving the
special.
show. Yeah.